How's it going out there, everybody? It is Drew Peebles from Peebles Collectibles. Today we've got a box here of Theros Beyond Death, the first set that was released in 2020 before everything became a shit show back here in the States. And this was a set that I was quite fond of. I loved the original Theros block, even though it wasn't the most powerful in the world, but I have a fondness for Greek mythology. So, taking inspiration from that to build a plane in Magic was always very cool to me. And then I just dropped that on the floor. Nothing to see here. But anyway, I quite enjoyed this set here. I thought it was a good time. We're here today. We're hoping for a shadowspear. So we did an Ikoria box, which is something I got alongside this, as well as of course, I literally just hit the same fucking tape. Oh, you know what? Why did I put it there? I'm going to keep hitting it over. That's the question. All right. Do I have the answer? I don't. All right. So shadowspear is a big one that we're looking for here. As far as mythics are concerned, there's Nyxbloom Ancient. I think Thassa is the top dog god at the moment. Heliod is not as coveted as he was when this set first dropped. I was about to be like, oh, is it a list card? Now remember, this is 2020, so this is the period in between Eldraine and Zendikar Rising. So Eldraine being the introduction of collector boxes, and Zendikar Rising being the introduction of set boosters. I forgot they have the full art lands in these. I love those. Okay, and we're also the packs are a bit switched up. Now I just did Ikoria. Those packs are normal, what I'm used to. So here we get our token, our land, and then our rare. Well, that's at least good because I mean, really, what I'm here for is just the rares. Not really going to go through and talk about the commons or anything like that. But the power level overall of this set, especially compared to the original Theros, it's night and day. There's actually decent commons and uncommons in here that you can use for a wide variety of decks, whereas original Theros block, I mean, there's some great cards, but, as far as just the bulk, I have a lot of bulk from that era too. It's not really worth deck, if we're being honest here. All right, we got a Thwomp. Tiamat can go fudge himself. All right, I kind of like that the rare is just up there. Because, I mean, again, really, at the end of the day, that is that's what we're really here for. And again, remember, this is a time where you're not going to see more than one rare in a pack unless there is a foil rare. Otherwise, it is a one and done kind of thing. Nyx Lotus here. Not I mean, maybe worth like $5 at this point. But 4 mana, legendary artifact. It comes in a play tapped, and then you can tap it, choose a color, add an amount of mana of that color equal to your devotion to that color. So that is a sweet, nifty card for EDH. Like I said, it's not a crazy rare or anything like that. It's not like Shadowspear or even Idyllic Tutor, which I think that's pushed up to about $10 at this point. Thassa's Oracle as well. We can't forget about that. I think she's only about maybe $10 nowadays, where pushing 20 plus for a while there because just such a great game-ending card. All right, Zombie Island, a Crowan War. Could care less. Now there's also the what's his fucking name? Spinner of Destiny. I think for a while that was worth a pretty penny. I don't think it's $5 plus at this point, but it is still a good uncommon to get. I believe he makes your enchantment and creature spells uncounterable, and then has some other ability as well. But just that first part, making a large subset of spells being uncounterable, especially if you have a deck that is heavy on creatures and enchantments, basically making it all uncounterable, is pretty fucking sick. The temples. And another thing I was going to talk about was land cycle in a set. So like I just did Ikoria. Now sadly I only got 3 triomes in a box. I was hoping for more than that. But at the end of the day, you know, you get 3 triomes. Hell yeah, you get 2, 4, whatever. I mean, triomes are all somewhat decent. Whereas the temples, I've never been a big fan of the temples. I feel like getting the scry is not worth the card coming in a play tapped. And of course, also, you know, having 2 colors instead of 1. Yeah, the main reason why it's coming into play tapped, right? But okay, for a second I was like, oh, we got something crazy. It's a foil common. Remember, yeah, it's crazy when you're opening packs and not everything is a foil. Oh, okay, there we go. Thassa's Oracle. Now that would have been nice if that was the foil, but I digress. So yeah, I think she's back down to about the price that she was around when this set first came out. Because I remember picking up a few copies because I hadn't pulled any, and I think I got mine for like $7, $8 a pop, something like that. So everything normalizes in the end. So yeah, I mean, accounting for inflation and everything, I think that Thassa's Oracle is about the price that it was around when this set initially dropped. Try to reorganize stuff a little bit. There we go. Beautiful work. Okay, we're back at it. More Theros, more all the time. Human Warrior. We got a land. All right, our first mythic, nothing to write home about. Polkernos, Unchained. He is one of 3 Titans, I believe, right? You have Uro and Caxos, whatever. And these are ones that, well, actually, the other 2 die when they come in. I don't know if this would technically be part of that cycle as well. Basically, for 4 mana, he comes in. He's a 0/0. He gets 6 1/1 counters. If he comes in as an escaped creature, he gets 12. If damage would be dealt to him while it has a 1/1 counter on it, prevent that damage or remove that many 1/1 counters from it. For 3, you can get him to fight another target creature, and then his escape cost is 6 plus exiling 6 other cards from your graveyard. So, yeah, just kind of a steep cost overall, and that's why he's just really not that good. Annex for our first constellation. Little dude over there. All right. So we got the Thassa's Oracle. Would like a Thassa. Like I said, shadowspear. Need one of those for sure. And that's one of those, like the Ikoria box, we still did halfway decent, even without the Ozolith and only 3 triomes. But with a set like this, like if I don't pull a shadowspear, then, you know, just kind of ruins the whole box, because there's just not that much value in this set at the moment. Still a great set in my opinion, but as far as cracking packs, yeah, there's not too much, you know. And again, based on like price, like if this set just released, you can get this like for a normal price, sure, but just regular ass draft boosters, I don't know what this is going for at this point. I guess like 150 probably. Allure the Unknown, but let's just say 150. It could be more, it could be less, but for 150 bucks, 36 draft boosters, there's a lot more recent sets that you'd rather get play boosters of for a similar price, right? But this was a fun set to draft. So, you know, like I said, for cracking packs, it's not the best, but you know, if you're trying to do limited with some friends or something, it's a good time. Underworld Breach. All right, I was like, I know there's another one, and that's one that I think it's $10 or less now at this point. That was another one that I remember being a pretty penny for a minute there. I don't know if it's because it got reprinted, if it got banned in some format. Who freaking knows? But that is definitely another rare that we'd like to see, and the idyllic tutor also would be sweet. As far as mythics go, that is I'm going to say it's the worst one, and then like the worst one's going to be in here. Yeah, Ashiok's not really anything to write home about, nor is Calyx. They're both okay cards, but there we go, idyllic tutor. There we did it. I said the card, and the card came. So, success. Boop, boop. Yeah, just your normal run-of-the-mill tutor. 3 mana, you get any enchantment you want put into your hand. And that was one, the price was, it was under $5 for a minute there, I want to say. I remember being like, that's pretty cheap for a white tutor. 3 mana, any enchantment. Now, obviously, Enlightened tutors better, but I mean, it's also a pretty good card. Okay, I got kind of excited there. I thought there was something swifty and crazy, but there was no such thing. No such thing. Okay, we're about a third of the way through our box here. We got 2 of the rare hits that we wanted. We haven't gotten any of the mythic hits yet. We've only got 1 mythic, and he was meh. What do we got here? Temple of Enlightenment. Another fucking temple. Get over there. Get the fuck over there. Here's another halfway decent uncommon. Hydra's Growth for 3 mana. It's an enchantment aura. When it enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 counter on an enchanted creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, you double the number of 1/1 counters on that creature. Pretty fucking sick card. So like I said, there's random little things like that. Like there are some pretty decent stuff in the common uncommon slot, which again, like OG Theros, since I was playing quite a bit around then, I've got a lot of that bulk, and I mean it's just, even without considering power creep, there's just not much going on there, you know. Even like 10 years ago, a lot of those cards I wouldn't be using for a lot of my decks, you know. Whereas here, look, I mean, got a legendary uncommon that, you know, I could build, you know, an EDH deck around, and probably just using cards, from the set even. Wouldn't be a very good deck, but it would still be a deck. Whereas original Theros, you know, there wasn't an abundance of legendaries like there is now, so you wouldn't have as many options. The cards weren't as good. All right, so we got a showcase foil. Would have been cool if we got, you know, a showcase foil of like one of the, you know, massive gods, but we got a demigod showcase foil. That is still pretty fucking cool, and was really hoping there was going to be a sweet ass rare behind that. That is what we were hoping for, and it was not. It was not. All right, we're still mythic count still at 1, temple count at 2. We're not even counting. Fuck the temples. Like I said, I hate that shit. There we go. Mythic hit. That's what we wanted. That's a deep dwelling. One of the better hits here. I'd say only second to Nyx Bloom Ancient still at this point. All right. And if you don't know Thassa, just a really good engine for blinking stuff. So you got a 4 mana god here, 6/5, and she's got the same thing that the Theros gods had the first time we went over there to Theros, where you need a certain devotion to that color in order for this enchantment to be a creature. And when it is, then it's a 6/5 indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 other target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. And then for 4, tap another target creature. So that extra little ability, I mean, it's nice. It doesn't hurt. There might be, a time that you got a little extra mana hanging around and get rid of that problematic blocker and get in, for the win. But that big thing, being able to blink something every end step is really nice. You can think of something like Conjurer's Closet or Teleportation Circle more recently. But having that on an enchantment that's indestructible that can also be a 6/5 creature later on in the game. And again, that extra little ability of tapping a target creature can also come in. So I remember this being not much for a while there, and I was kind of surprised because I thought it was pretty damn good. And it seems that the opinion around it at this point has changed. So can't say I'm surprised. So we're happy we got that. Still need, I was going to say Ozolith. No, Shadowspear. We still need a Shadowspear. And Underworld Breach would be another good rare pull here. And as far as the other gods, I think Erebos is pretty good. Nylea is good. What's the red one? Oh, fucking, I was about to say Heliod. Not Heliod. Perforos. Yeah, Perforos is just, yeah, okay. Now, oh, there we go. Underworld Breach. Never even worried. Never even worried. So you got a 2-mana enchantment. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape, and its escape cost is equal to its mana cost plus exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard. At the beginning of your end step, you have to sacrifice Underworld Breach. So it's kind of like a Past in Flames sort of thing, but it's a cheaper buy-in. This is also Soul Guide Lantern, was first printed in the set. So again, it's one of those things like, I mean, Soul Guide Lantern at this point is what, like 50 cents or something? But it is a great artifact for, disrupting your opponent's graveyard. You get the extra little card draw in there if you need it. Oh, and the other thing with determining the financial value of this set is don't sleep on the full art lands, right? I know that it's not like back in the day with the unhinged sets, right, where those full art lands, like, they were worth a pretty decent penny and everything, because they were not a dime a dozen. And by the way, real quick, so Tessin Champion, I think this is one that started climbing up recently. It's a 3-mana 1/3. It has Constellation, which whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on them and you draw a card. And this is another one that I always thought was like pretty good, that was like a bulk rare for the longest time. And it's nothing crazy right now, but I think it's like a $5 rare at this point after being a bulk rare for a minute there. So anyway, back to the discussion on full art lands. So I feel like at this point, people kind of see them as worthless. And, you wouldn't want to invest any kind of money in them, just like, the unhinged lands back in the day. I mean, I'm sure people, were paying like, I don't know what, like $20 for like a foil or something. Anyway, the point being, full art lands are not worth nothing. They are worth something. I mean, just imagine, right? There's 36 packs here. Let's just say that those are worth like $1 a piece, right? That's not bad. $36, and again, that's obviously not how money and shit works with cards, but just trying to put it into some kind of perspective. We got all the Thassa's cards here today. Thassa's Intervention as well. I don't think any of the interventions are crazily priced, but they're all halfway decent. I think Heliod's is probably the best. Thassa's I quite like. The other ones are not coming to mind. Whatever Erebos's is, I remember that one being halfway decent. And then Nylea's and Perforos's, I'm not sure if I'm not remembering because they're terrible or what. Here's Erebos's. All right, what's it do? So it's X and a black for an instant, and you get to choose one. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn. You gain X life. Exile up to twice X target cards from graveyards. All right, yeah, I mean, that is, as I remembered, halfway decent. Nothing crazy. Oh, Underworld Dreams. There you go. Another uncommon in this set, which does pretty well for itself. This was a rare previously. Can't remember, was it Legends the first printing? Might have been Legends. I know it was printed in an early set, reprinted in core sets as a rare, downshifted to uncommon for this set. But I mean, that's one Oh, and if you don't know what it does, 3 black enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams does 1 damage to that player. So, pretty simple and pretty amazing. But yeah, if we can get a Shadowspear, then we're good. We've been getting our hits. And some more mythics. Not a mythic. Okay. Oh, it's a foil rare. Okay. For a second there, I was like, wait a second. How the fuck do we have 2 rares in the same pack? That doesn't happen anymore, unless there is a foil rare. Of course, we get a foil rare of. What the fuck does this thing even do? It's a 5 mana enchantment creature, Snake Lamia. Is that even a type that is any card other than just this one? Anyway, 4/4, lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 1 less to cast. Alright, and I thought it was a legendary for a minute. It is not. It's not legendary. Oh, and Heliod's Intervention, since we have it here. X and 2 white for an instant. Choose 1. Destroy X target artifacts and or enchantments. Target player gains twice X life. So really the first mode on there is what makes it pretty decent, I would say. Being a good modal spell for taking out problematic artifacts and enchantments. And you have the second mode where, gaining twice X life. Certain situations, maybe if you have X amount of life higher than your starting life total, you get some ability that triggers. That would be helpful. Elspeth's Nightmare. That's a cool one to at least get in foil. And a rare that I could give a lesser fuck about. And real quick, we have gold here. Sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color. Does that remind you of something? So yeah, originally with treasures, right, they were going to keep it to just Ixalan, right? So having, it was fine to have other effects like that. And also do pay attention that there is a difference between gold and treasure, right? On top of the names being different, so anything that says, whenever you sacrifice a treasure, this wouldn't count, obviously. But look right here. Sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. Treasure, you have to tap and sacrifice this artifact, right? And that's why kind of the way that they've nerfed treasures now, right, is that something will create a tapped treasure token, so you're unable to just use that mana immediately unless you have like a, what is it, amulet? I was going to say Primal Amulet. That's the name. I'm pretty sure that's just the name of the deck with Primeval Titan. And Amulet of Vigor. That's what it is. Got excited again, but it is nothing. Damn. Get fucked. Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Still a badass card, even by today's standards. All right. So funny enough, this is taking almost as long as the Ikoria box, even though I'm like, oh, the rare was at the front, so this is going to be a lot quicker. Nope. Nope, not really. Okay, I just went off screen real quick so I can switch up the cards, and then I fucking dropped it. All right, it was nothing. Kraken. All right, we got the last of the third of the box here. We're hoping and we're still praying for that Shadowspear. Mythic count is only 2. We did get the Thassa, so I'm happy about that. But Nyx Bloom or any other god would be nice. And, oh, what is it? Shatter the Sky. Shatter your mom. All right. Boop. Boop. Oh, Ashiok for the other disappointing mythic. We talked about it. Oh, and there's Destiny Spinner. Yeah, creature enchantment spells you control can't be countered. And I couldn't remember that other ability. So for 3 and a green, target land you control becomes an XX elemental creature with trample and haste until in a turn where X is the number of enchantments you control. So yeah, pretty decent uncommon there. Okay, and what do we got? Shiny. Another fucking garbage fucking mythic. Why can't we get anything halfway decent? Well, we got Thassa, so I can't really complain. Where is she? I just wanted to read out Elspeth. This is just... So, I mean, I'm at least glad Wizards, they gave Escape to a Planeswalker, so obviously they couldn't make her that strong, right? So there's no ultimate or anything here. She's a 4-mana Planeswalker, comes in with 5 loyalty counters, and they're all minus abilities. You got a -1, up to 2 target creatures you control, each get +2/+1 until end of turn. Or -2, you can create 2 1/1 white human creature soldier tokens, human soldier creature tokens, and -3, you gain 5 life. So 3 abilities on there. None of them are, over the top crazy or anything like that. But again, I mean, because it is a Planeswalker that you can keep playing, because of the escape ability, they couldn't really make her that strong, but I feel like they could have at least made it better. Yeah, just not a lot going on there. And then, of course, the escape cost, it's 6 and exiling, what is that, 4 other cards? So, I mean, it's not like, you could do her -2 when she has 3 loyalty left, goes to the grave, or sorry, -2 when she has 2 loyalty left, goes to the graveyard and then recast her to do it again. And you just jump through hoops to get 4 1/1 tokens and a Planeswalker that can't really do much. So yeah, disappointing there, but everything else, cool. All right, 2 shiny rares. What shiny? 2 foil rares in this box. I mean, that part is at least exciting, but not ones that are exciting. Perforos's Intervention. What does it do? It's X and a red for a sorcery. You choose one, create an X1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step, and Perforos's Intervention deals twice X damage to target creature or planeswalker. So yeah, that might be... Oh, and Cling to Dust. That's another great uncommon from this set. For a black, instant, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you gain 3 life. Otherwise, you draw a card. And escape for 4, exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. Just a very simple, direct, decent-ass card right there. We'll be back after this brief interruption. We'll be back. I promise. What's here? Fucking dog. Alright, so our mythic count is up to 4. We haven't seen the shadowspear. Otherwise, we've gotten, I think, all the hits in the rare slot. Oh, what's his name? Grove Boy. Whatever the hell his name is. Keeper of the Grove. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. There we go. Not Dryad, okay. And Dryad of Elysian Grove, yet another card in a long list of ones that were a pretty penny for a moment there, and then, reprinted or outclassed or what have you. So he's no longer like the savior of a pack opening, but still a decent card to see. Shadowspear is really well. Okay. We got a Showcase God and Clothis, God of Destiny. This is one, again, pretty penny for a minute there. I don't think that is the case anymore, but it's still a cool card. We got a 3-mana colorless red and a green for a 4/5 indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and green is less than 7, he's not a creature. And at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a land, you get a red or green. Otherwise, you gain 2 life and he deals 2 damage to each opponent. So, cool stuff. We did get another god, so that is fun. and we got a showcase variant of one. So that was pretty nice. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been firing on all cylinders here. The only cylinder that we're kind of not firing on yet is that Shadowspear and the Dryad of Elysian Grove to as the last decent rare that we need as well there. All right, so mythic count up to 5. Got what? 4 packs. 4 packs. All right. 4 chances for the Spear of the Shadows. I just knocked over the pile of commons because I'm a fucking idiot. All right, we're going to see what this is real quick. And then I'm going to get fucked me. All right. So I try not to just have giant ass fucking piles just hanging out, doing nothing but being a giant pile. We'll be back after this brief interruption. Okay, even the uncommon slot here is a little wonky. All right, and those ones that are currently on the ground, I will get them in a moment. We got 3 packs left. Can we get there? Can we do it? Ah! Not what I wanted. 2 packs. Looking for at least Dryad or Shadowspear. Obviously, Shadowspear is really what I want. And another nice mythic pool. Also okay. Can we at least have one of those 3 in our last 2 packs? Fucking bore. Yeah, fucking bore. Okay, last pack. Can we get one of the 3? You got 3 heads. Can you be those 3 options? I choose the middle head. All right, drum roll, please, for the people in the back. Here we go. Fucking temple. Swing and a miss. All right, like I said, we did really well for ourselves outside of the Shadowspear. We got the Thassa and the Thassa's Oracle. We got a neat little showcase god there too in Clothis. We got Idyllic Tutor. We got Underworld Breach. We got some bulk mythics. The temples. I don't give a damn about the temples. But like I said, the full art lands definitely something to look at. You know, and assess when you're assessing the value of this box. You know, full art lands, don't sleep on them. They are something. Well, thank you for joining me. It's Drew Peoples from Peoples Collectibles. Once again, until next time, friends.